All right, everyone. So welcome. We're recording now. And today I am joined by my friend Jody. So she is known as a two-time top 28 global speaker out of a competition of tens of thousands of people. She's also a multi-six-figure entrepreneur and coach and creator of the voice activation formula. But she didn't grow up confident. She actually experienced bullying, racism, and she moved 16 times before she turned 18. And for years, she believed that her voice didn't matter. So she struggled with things like eating disorders, overworking, and feeling like she wasn't enough. Now she works with heart-led leaders, coaches, and healers, people just like us, go from anxiety and fear to confidence and freedom on stage and also in business. So if you're ready to step into bigger shoes today, I think you're really going to enjoy this. And it's not going to be just another generic, confidence building session. She's here to help you, connect deeply with the people that you're talking to, own your voice, and unlock the next level of impact and abundance in your life. So please give a warm welcome to my friend, holistic voice and abundance queen, Jody Dontje.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you, Danny. It's so great to be here. Welcome, everybody, whether you're on the recording or you're here live. Showing up for yourself today is going to be a life-changing step. Give me a double hand wiggle. Do this. We're going to be doing a few of these things throughout the night. Give me a double hand wiggle if you're open to being present tonight. Okay, being present. Because so much noise is happening in the world. So much noise is happening on social media. So much noise is happening in our lives. The ability to stay present is not going to just only help you today. It's going to help you as a speaker and a leader out of this session. Yeah, so bring your presence today. Also, who has a device or something you can write notes, give me a double thumb wiggle. Yeah, because I'm going to be giving a lot of value and a lot of support. So make sure you have a device or you have a pen and paper so you can write down as much as possible. Okay. And
we also
here is
are
open
taking notes
actually
with Gemini. So Gemini will give us some notes as well, I think, after this call. So that'll help as well.
Fantastic. And who's also open to surrendering to elevate your voice beyond what you can even imagine? Give me a little raise the roof. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Because did you know that public speaking is one of the biggest fears in the world? Yeah, like according to Psychology Today and many other studies worldwide, they found that people would rather be in a really small space, really high up with spiders, or die. Like arachnophobia, claustrophobia, heights, and even death rated lower on the psychological studies compared to public speaking. Public speaking was the biggest fear. And it begs the question, why? Right? Why is it? Why is it that something that is so natural to us, when we're born, what's the first thing we do? We cry. We use our voice. We say, hello, world, I'm here. I can make noise. I can be seen. I am willing to share. But then along the lines, we start to lose the connection to the power of our voice. And because I've come from a background of racism, bullying, from a background of severe social anxiety, I couldn't even leave the house at one point. I know how it feels to feel like my voice doesn't matter. I know how it feels to hold back. I know how it feels to want to hide. And then through my journey in life, I overcame those fears. I overcame those limitations. And what I've been able to achieve is what the younger version of me couldn't have even dreamed of. You know, whether it was creating a multiple six-figure-a-year business, reaching the world stage of public speaking twice, being able to speak on stages of thousands of people, being able to impact thousands of people around the world, all these incredible things that I'm so grateful for, they happened because I unlocked the power of my voice. My relationships got better. My lifestyle got better. I've traveled now to over 36 countries. All of these dreams came true because I owned my voice. So who's open to owning your voice more after tonight? Give me another little spirit fingers. Yeah, amazing. I'm excited. I'm excited. Now, this is something that I teach over 6 months, okay? And I'm going to try to fit as much as I can into like a 45-minute session. Like, it's not a lot of space and time to share with you the depths of this work, because I created after about 120 people that I coach, I created what I call my voice formula. It's a proven formula that when people commit to the process of voice, VOICE, by the end of the journey, they are a completely new version of themselves. They're owning their voice on stage, whatever their stage is, whether it's online, whether it's in their relationships with their children, their partner, their friends. They're owning their voice in the workplace. They're owning their voice in business. They're just owning their voice more when they go through this process. And today I want to give as much value as possible. Yes, is it cool? It's going to be a bit of a fast-paced masterclass. Yeah, can you keep up with me? Is that cool? Yeah? All right, great. So tonight we are going to be filling in the gaps of what does VOICE stand for. So somewhere at the top of your page or at the top of your device, I want you to write VOICE, and throughout tonight you are going to be writing down what does each of those letters stand for. Okay? Because I'm going to be teaching you these pieces. Now, before we begin, I want you to know that you're here for a reason. Whether you're live or you're watching the recording, there is something that brought you into this space with me. And so be open and curious to what that is tonight. Let tonight's session open something in you, give you permission, give you a skill set, give you a mindset shift that is going to shift everything. So if I'm going to play full out with you, I need you to play full out with me. Okay? All right. So we're going to go into the first of the VOICE, which is V. And what does V stand for? But in order to get clear on what V stands for, I'm going to guide you through a quite deep meditative process. Do I have your permission to guide you into something quite deep? Is that okay? Yeah, because something I do not stand for is I don't stand for surface level quick fixes, quick tools that we implement but don't actually change us as a person. I don't stand for things that feel like imposter syndrome, where you get a few tips and you feel like you're doing them in life, but you don't feel like you've actually transformed as a person. I don't want to just give you information. I want to give you transformation. Okay? So this meditative process can bring up emotion. If it does, that's amazing. If it doesn't, that's amazing. If at any point this meditation feels too much and too uncomfortable, just open your eyes, drink some water, take a few breaths. You don't have to continue with it. But I do invite for you to be present with the meditation, because this is something that can shift so much in you. Okay? So before we do the meditation, let's start with a sip of water. So cheers, let's have a sip. Let yourself, allow your body to open. Yeah. I'm a very holistic speaking coach. When people work with me, they don't only transform their speaking capacity, their communication, they transform every area of life. Things as simple as drinking water, keeping our body hydrated, keeping our body healthy is going to help us be a better speaker and leader. True? Because if we don't feel good in our body, it's going to be more challenging for us to feel really good presenting ourselves to other people. So, all right, we're going to go into this meditative process now. I'd love you to close your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable to close your eyes, you can stare at a spot on the ground. And just know, as you have your eyes closed, that your breath is one of your superpowers. Before I stepped out onto the world stage of public speaking, okay, I had spent a whole year on that one speech. And out of 35,000 people, I reached the top 28. And just before I walked out on that stage, where tens of thousands of people are going to be able to watch the recording, there's over 1,000 people in the audience watching live, I did breath work. I connected to my breath. I centered myself so I could be the best version of myself on that stage. Our breath can help us in everyday life, and our breath can help us in those big moments that matter. So just slowing your breath down, in through the nose and out through the mouth. And so I'd love you just to connect to your body. Maybe you've been doing a lot in your life. Maybe you've been achieving a lot, or maybe you haven't been achieving as much as you would like. Whatever's going on in your life, just bring yourself back to your breath, back to this present moment, and just feel how your body is feeling right now. Notice the sensations, the feelings, the emotions in your body. Notice if some parts of your body feels tense, tired, uncomfortable. Maybe parts of your body feels energized, alive. Just notice how your body's feeling. And don't judge it, but just allow. Keep your breath nice and slow in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now I'd love you to imagine, with your eyes closed and your breath nice and slow, that there is this golden white light opening up from your heart space. Your heart, there is so much science and metaphysics behind the power of your heart. Imagine that your heart is lighting up, like a bulb lighting up in a dark room. And this light from your heart begins to spread over your shoulders and down your arms. This light begins to shine above your throat, your voice, right? Over your head, down your chest, down your body, down your legs, down your feet, until your whole body is this bright light. And then this bright light shines over the ground beneath you, the walls around you, and the roof on top of you, until you're now in, not only you are shining bright and light, but you are in a room that is shining this bright white light. Deep breath in and out. Following my every word, being present. And as you're in this bright light room now, you notice something. In the middle of this room, you notice a couch. A couch, a sofa, this chair in the middle of the room. And you begin to walk towards this couch, this sofa, this chair. You hear the footsteps on the ground echo through the room as you take each step. You can feel your feet as you step forward towards this couch. You can see the color of the couch. Notice the color of the couch. Notice the size of the couch, the sofa, the chair. And you even can smell this beautiful, kind of like clean, fresh, crisp smell of this couch. And now you're walking around and you're standing in front of it and you're about to sit down into this couch, into this sofa, okay? So deep breath in, deep breath in. And now dropping down, sitting into this couch, sitting into this sofa. Just feel the relaxation as you sit here. This is the only moment that matters. And now you're probably wondering, why are you in this bright light room? Okay, keeping your eyes closed. Why are you in this bright light room? Why are you sitting on this couch? Well, truth is, the reason you're in this room is because you were just given some news. You were just told that you only have 2 hours left to live. The reason you're in this room, sitting on this couch, is because you are at the end of your life. You are as old as you would want to be at the end of your life. And at this old age, you're sitting here on this couch realizing that you only have 2 hours left. And I want you to notice, are you proud of who you are on this couch? And as you sit here on this couch with this news, you realize that this is not a normal room. Actually, this room is a very special room. Every person that has ever impacted your life, has been in your life, that you've impacted the lives of, is in this room with you. In this last 2 hours, in this life, you're in this room, whether these people are alive or not anymore. This room is this powerful space where they're all here. Notice who is in this room with you. Notice who you've impacted and who's impacted you. Who is in this room? Look around. know and notice who's in this room. And now I'd love you to notice what they're saying about the person that you were, who you were being throughout your life. As you sit here on this couch, you can overhear their conversations to each other. What are they saying about the person that you've been throughout your life? Just notice and hear and sense and know what they're saying. What are they saying about your personality and your values and who you were being? And what are they saying about what you did in your life? What are they saying about what you did throughout your life? And what are they saying about what you had in your life? Maybe physical items or awards or whatever else. What are they saying about what you had and who you had in your life? What are they saying about what and who you had in your life? And finally, what are they saying about how you gave and how you received throughout your life? What are they saying about how you gave and how you received? When you're on this couch, this sofa, this chair at the end of your life, with only 2 hours left to live, is what these people are saying about you something that you're proud about? And what are you most proud about? Receive a deep breath in for me. Deep breath out. And just start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just start to touch parts of your body so that you can become more present again in this space. Maybe you want to stretch or move your body. And then when you're ready, I want for you to start to write down on your notepad or write down on your device what came through for you. What did these people say about who you were, what you did, who and what you had, and how you gave and received, and who was in that room and why? Okay, receive just a moment now to write that down. I'm going to put those notes in the chat for you as you write these pieces down. And you don't have to share them, just write them for yourself. But in a moment, if you want to share, we can open to that.
Anyone feeling brave, like they want to share?
Or just keep them reflecting for a moment. I'll have them share in a moment. Just give a bit more reflection time. Okay. Whew. So I've done this exercise with audiences of hundreds and hundreds of people, and I've done it in small groups. As Stephen Covey explains, start with the end in mind. And Simon Sinek explains, start with why. And by understanding who we want to be remembered as at the end of our life, it can inform the person we want to be today. And so if anyone would like to unmute and share how that experience was, you're welcome to share, or you can put it into the chat. I want this to be an interactive experience, but you don't have to share either. But you're welcome to share how that experience was for you, or to put it in the chat. And then I'm going to go on to the next step of what this process actually will unfold.
All right, so those questions, in case you guys don't have the message open, it's one, who were you being, what you did throughout your life, who and what you had, and how you gave and received. So anyone like to start out? Alexander, how about you? You have to unmute your mic if you want to speak out. Okay, Jody, do you want to give
There's
an
no
example?
pressure.
Then I'll speak as well.
It's no pressure. It's a very deep process. And often when I guide people through this, there's a lot of emotions that can come up. And so if any of you are ever feeling emotions around this, amazing, fantastic. All good. Got a few messages here that they can't unmute. That's all good. No problems. So this exercise brings up the truth of who we want to be remembered as. I've had people share that they were surprised about who was in the room. And Lauren saying can't unmute. That's okay. All good. Maybe we can, just share in the chat throughout if you guys are having trouble unmuting. And so what's really powerful about this exercise is it helps us to go, okay, who do I want to be at the end of my life, and how can I become that person now? So now what I'd love you to do is write down this. Remember, I'm going to take you through VOICE. What does V stand for? V stands for vision and values. Write that down. Okay, VOICE. The V of my voice formula is vision and values. Who do you want to be remembered as? What is your vision in life, and what are your core values? Now, there's a lot that I teach around this in my Embodied Speaker Academy, but what I'm going to give you the opportunity to do now is to finish this sentence, okay? So to finish this sentence, I want you to put your name was a person who. I want you to imagine that someone is writing what is on your tombstone. Jody, that sounds a little bit morbid. I can guarantee the breakthroughs people have had in their life because of this process is profound. Yeah, and I'll share some in the moment. But I want you to write this down on your device or on your piece of paper, your name. So if your name is Michael, Lauren, Gemma, Alexandre, yeah, I want you to write down your name was a person who, and I want you to write down one sentence that encapsulates who you would want to be remembered as. You know, for example, Jody was a person who embodied her values of this and this and this, and she lived a life where she helped people own their voice. And so she showed up every day owning her voice of vulnerability or whatever else. But just write your sentence. Yeah, write your sentence. I'll just give you about a minute or so to do that. By the way, I'd love to see some of your faces. So if anyone wants to turn on their camera, that's always great as well. Yeah. But yeah, I'd love you to finish that sentence. Your name was a person who.
We all don't look as nice as you today, Jody, so maybe we're a bit shy.
Well, this session's all about showing up authentically and, putting ourselves out there. So hello, Jaber. So great to see you. Thanks for putting your camera on. That's amazing. Well done. The courage. We want to reward courage in this space, All right. So another 30 seconds or so. Your name was a person who, just finishing off that sentence. Well done, Gemma. Another brave soul. Fantastic. All right. So you have your name was a person who, that is now your statement. Okay. And I told you this was going to be a fast masterclass, right? I spent a lot of time on each of these elements and so much more, but I want to give you a bit of a framework. So your name was a person who, what happens when you define that statement is every day you can read that out loud to yourself. And then when you go to do a speaking opportunity, go to a networking event, do a post, talk to your spouse, talk to your friends or family or children, you have this statement that represents how you want to show up. Because I've had a lot of people come and do my programs after they've done lots of other speaking programs. Because they said to me, Jody, I did these speaking programs and I got these tools, but I still feel like an imposter. I still feel like I don't know who I am. I still feel like I'm inauthentic. And how I approach public speaking, how I approach communication is from a very conscious space of we want to know who we want to be, right? We want to know how we want people to remember us so we can be authentic in how we communicate and how we show up. And so a powerful tool you can now do to help you go from your vision to practical ways to speak with alignment is this: your values. To figure out what are three, what I call, and I've been teaching for now the last 8 years, are your interaction values. 3 words that represent how you want people to remember you after an interaction. Whether that interaction is on a physical stage, or it's after reading a post, or it's after a conversation with you, what are 3 words that represent how you want people to remember you? Yeah. And so have a look at that sentence you wrote. Have a look at everything you wrote after that meditation. Look at for the key words and write it down. Now, you're not going to get this in one go. Sometimes people spend weeks on this to finalize their 3 words. Okay, I'm giving you a boot camp masterclass today. But have a look at those sentences. Yeah, they're meant to be. They're meant to challenge you. You can spend weeks on these. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Well, I think they're important.
So examples of words could be, examples of words could be, you want to be remembered as positive. You want to be remembered as humorous. You want to be remembered as present. You want to be remembered as wise. You want to be remembered as cheerful. You want to be remembered as engaged. You want to be remembered as, what is it, right? Have a think about, what are those 3 words that would represent how you would want someone to remember you at the end of an interaction? Oh, I love that, Gemma. If you want, you can be brave and share it in the chat. Otherwise, you can keep them for yourselves. This is your journey, everyone. But I love that. Generous, raw, inspiring. So incredible. So when you have your interaction values, everyone, humorous, yeah. When you have your interaction values, how they support you is this. At the start of each day, or before you go into a networking event, or before you walk on stage, or into a meeting, or into a conversation, meditate on those 3 words. Okay, I want to go into this conversation authentic. I want to go into this conversation raw. I want to go into this conversation generous. I want to go into this conversation present. I want to go into this conversation inspiring. I want to go into this conversation humorous. Whatever your values are. And what happens is people start to remember you as these core values. And what I see values as, in my courses, I teach it very deeply, but very briefly, what I can share is your values are like your bones. If we don't have bones, what are we? We're this blobbling mess on the ground, right? We're not standing tall and in our power. It's the same thing with your values. If you're not clear on your values, you're not standing in your power fully. You're not strong in the strength of who you are. So your values are like your strength. Yeah, they're like the bones that keep you strong in your integrity and who you are. And so how I teach values, I teach my 4 cornerstones of value success. And today I just introduced one, which is the interaction values. And so Danny was a person who was fearless, resilient, never gave up, showed up for others. Amazing. I reckon this can even be like extended, even more. It's like very powerful. I love it. I love it. All right. Who's loving this so far? Give me a raise the roof. Whoop. Well done. Okay. Gosh, Jody, I wasn't expecting that in your session. We were going to basically die. I know. Wow. That's how deep the work can go. It's to reflect deeply about who we want to be remembered as. And if any of you are feeling that these questions are tough, amazing. I'm glad. I want you to feel something. You know, I want from today you feel whatever it might be that wants to come up. And so now you've gone through a process to figure out who you want to be remembered as at the end of your life. You have your vision, okay? You have your vision statements. Your name was a person who, and now you have your interaction values, your 3 interaction values. Maybe you don't have that yet because we went so fast, but that's okay. You've got some home play to take away, yeah? So now we have the vision and values from our voice formula, yeah? Well done. Give me a double thumb wiggle if that is awesome, if that is cool, and you're with me so far. Cool. So V is vision and values. Jody, right? What does the next one mean? Before we go to the next one, I want to check in and I'm not going to do it the whole way through because we want to get through a lot, but at the end, we're going to see if we have space for questions. But is there anyone who wants to ask a question or share something so far before we keep on going? Just want to check in. All right, cool. We're going to keep going.
Feel free to share your 3 or 4 qualities, I guess, in my case, in the chat. If you guys have anything else you want to share, feel free to post it in the messages.
And Regine, I'm so glad you're loving it. Yay, amazing. Well done for rocking out. Keep rocking out, everyone. Remember, we're going to be present. Remember, you promised me at the beginning to be present, to be open to learning, to be open to showing up. Well done. This is a boot camp. You're doing well. So we got vision and value as V. The next one is O. What does O stand for, Jody, from voice formula? My voice formula, the O stands for, drum roll, optimization. Optimizing who you are, optimizing your mind, your body, and your spirit. And when I teach optimization, I teach you your essentially voice brand, your voice personal brand, and that has a whole structure to it. And I also teach how you can utilize and optimize your mind, your body, and your spirit. Obviously, we can't go through all of that today, but what I am going to teach you are some fun little techniques. I'm going to teach you 2 out of the ones that I teach, okay? These are techniques to help optimize your actual physical voice. Is that cool? I'm going to show you how to optimize your physical voice, yeah? When we think about getting ready for a presentation or a speech or a podcast or a conversation or a meeting or a networking event, we can think about, okay, what am I going to wear? You know, what am I going to maybe share and say? But we don't always think about how can I prepare my actual physical body? I have this whole routine I do to get ready physically for speeches, for presentations, for workshops, whatever it is. So I'm going to give you this cool technique. This is called the EQER technique. I want everyone to do this with me, okay? You don't have to unmute, but I want you to do this. Go E, go like this, E, Q, lips like this, Q, E, and R. Have your R roll, R. Now do this with me at the same time. Here we go. Deep breath in. E, Q, E, R. Okay. Now, when you do this, what are you doing? Have a look. You're stretching your mouth to go E. You're stretching your muscles open like this. You're going Q. You're stretching your muscles out. You're going E. You're re-stretching it. And when you go R, you're stretching your tongue. This simple technique helps to open up your mouth to be able to articulate more clearly. How cool is that? Yeah. So it's a muscle technique, and it's also an energy technique. When people do this, they can actually feel the tension from their jaw start to soften and energy. So therefore their words can flow more. I know it's pretty cool, right? Absolutely. And Regine shared the values is loving, empowering, and present. So good. So good. All right. Another technique is called the zipper exercise. When I've worked now with thousands of people. When I work with people, sometimes they have challenges with a monotone voice. Anyone had that before? Or heard someone with a monotone voice where they're not really having a lot of dynamicness to their voice? What we want to do is this thing called a zipper exercise. So at the bottom of the screen, I want you to imagine holding a zipper, and that's going to be the lowest note you can possibly make. Okay, so let's do this together. Lowest note. Okay, and then we're going to do the highest note at the top here of the screen. Okay, the highest note. Here we go. Let's do it together. All you do is as long as you get. I don't know if you can actually hear that with my thing. Okay, and now we're going to go from the lowest to the highest note as a zipper. So deep breath in. And my voice is breaking a little bit. When I do this more and more and more in one go, I realize after my 10th time of doing it, it flows even more. So every time it's like that. So what you can do at home to practice having a more diverse and engaging dynamic voice is to go from a lowest note to the highest note and practice doing a zipper. And you actually stretch your vocal cords so you can have more dynamicness in your voice. When I do presentations, I've done whole day workshops, and I've had people say they were engaged the whole way through because I'm telling them stories where I go really quiet with my voice, or I go really high and really excited. And how to have that dynamicness is simple exercises like that. So give me a raise the roof if you're loving this. Yay. So that is one way to optimize your voice on a practical way. In my optimization module, when I teach this in my programs, I teach so many different techniques. And one of the techniques I want to teach you as well, how to optimize if you have fear. Yeah, who here's ever had fear around speaking in front of a group of people? Remember what I shared at the beginning of today. Public speaking is one of the biggest fears in the world. So one technique, now this does not bypass the deeper work. When I work with people, I work deep. I work deep on their fears, their traumas from their childhood, from experiences where they were shut down, where their voice was made fun of, where they didn't feel like they did a good job, they were ridiculed, or they were rejected in some way that felt like they were rejected. We work very deeply on that so they can overcome these fears and shine with confidence, right? From fear to freedom. Fear to freedom means the emotional freedom to show up authentically and to show up with confidence. And how to be able to show up with confidence is one quick technique you can do to be able to be an even better speaker on stage. This is called my emotional recall mindfulness process, okay? Emotional recall mindfulness. So, for example, the meditation I took you through was becoming mindful of our body. We can also become mindful of the emotions we want to recall before we get on stage. Whether it's a tough conversation with your partner, a sales call, a practical stage, or before you film a video or answer a question at a networking event, this is a process that you can do before you go onto your stage. Close your eyes, receive a deep breath in and out, and connect to what emotions do you want to be experiencing throughout whatever you're about to step into, okay? Throughout your presentation, what emotions do you want to be experiencing? And how you can recall those emotions in a mindful way is think back to memories where you felt those emotions and feel those emotions in your body now. Your body cannot tell the difference between you pretending that you're feeling something and actually feeling something. So you can recall your emotions. So for example, before I went onto the world stage of public speaking, okay, I spent a whole year on one 7-minute speech. I'm about to go on stage, and I emotionally recall all parts of my speech. I imagine me doing the speech, and I imagine the emotions I want to be feeling as I'm telling the different stories, as I'm speaking in these different sections. And one of the things that I connected to was my grandma. I connected to how I felt with my grandma when I was playing a game of Monopoly. And I realized that instead of playing the game of Monopoly, I should have been playing the bigger game in life. And the bigger game was realizing how grateful I was to be in that moment with my grandma when she doesn't have a lot of years left. And I connected that feeling of gratitude. I connected to that feeling of love. I connected to that feeling of presence. And then when I did that speech, I brought that love. I brought that presence. I brought that gratitude onto the stage, and people felt me. I want for you to be a speaker and a leader that people feel. Who's with me? Yeah. I don't want people leaving a conversation or leaving a presentation or a workshop or a speech from you and feel nothing. I want them to feel something. And so how you can essentially transpire that across the stage to others is by feeling that in your own body. Give me a little raise the roof if you're loving this. Yeah. So part of optimization, I've taught you the EQER technique to open up your muscles of your mouth to be able to speak more clearly. I've given you the technique of the zipper exercise so that you can help your muscles and your vocal cords expand so you can be able to be a dynamic sounding speaker. And I also gave you a quick technique of the emotional recall mindfulness technique that you can then do before you go out on whatever your stage might be. Cool. Awesome. You're with me so far. Vision and values, optimization. We're going to keep flowing, everyone, if that's cool. Yeah, because we've got a lot to open in a small amount of time. Vision and values, optimization. What is I of voice, Jody? VOICE. What does the I of voice stand for? The I from voice stands for, anyone want to take a guess? I'll put it in the chat. What could the I stand for? I don't know. Interaction values? No, it's not interaction values. Integration? Good guess. Well done. I hope I pronounced your name correctly, Regine. It is actually inspiration. Great guess. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Inspiration. I stands for inspiration. Okay. Inspiration is how can you inspire your audience, whoever your audience might be, and how can you feel inspired by who you are? And part of what I teach in my Embodied Speaker Academy, when I teach inspiration, I teach storytelling techniques. I teach how you can become confident in your own story and how you can become an incredible storyteller. Because why, Jody, is storytelling important? Well, because of fire. That's it. You got the answer. You can leave the workshop now feeling very fulfilled. What do you mean, Jody, fire? What do you mean? Fire means that in the old tribal days, and still now in a lot of traditional, locations around the world and in places where this is very important to them, fire is a way to bring people together. And when we come together in front of the fire, often in the tribal times, we tell stories. We tell stories. Our brain for generations and generations has been created to remember stories. That is part of who we are as humans. We remember stories more than we remember facts. We remember facts when there are stories associated to those facts. People remember stories because stories create emotion, and emotion creates motion. Okay, as Tony Robbins explained, emotion creates motion. If you want your audience to sign up to your program, to do something once you teach them something, to change their mindset and their behavior, if you want to inspire your audience to change, to have some kind of motion, you've got to connect to their emotion. And to connect to their emotion is to tell them stories, because stories is one of the biggest and quickest superpowers to connect to people's emotions. Even me guiding through that meditation at the beginning of today was me guiding you through a story. Right? It was guiding you through like a story process that you were actually living in. Storytelling takes lots of different forms. I'm going to very quickly share with you a framework that will help you with storytelling. Who would love that? Give me a raise the roof if you'd love that. Yeah? No, you better give me a raise the roof. I'm not going to share it. So a framework that I use when creating a TEDx talk, and I've helped many other speakers when they've done TEDx or they've done speeches, is this formula. This formula is originally from even the stage of Aristotle, okay? But also it's taught in Chris Anderson's work. Chris Anderson is the creator of TED Talks, and I'm very grateful to be a TEDx talk speaker. And I read a lot about his books when I got invited to do that speech. And essentially, this is the formula. 65%, write this down, 65% is pathos, P-A-T-H-O-S. 65% is pathos, and pathos stands for storytelling and emotional connection. You want that 65% of your speech, of your post, of your workshop, of your masterclass is storytelling or emotional connection in some way or form, because emotion equals motion. When you connect to people's emotions, they're more likely to take an action. 65% of what you want to deliver is going to be storytelling or emotional connection. Okay, 65%. The next part is 25%. 25% is logos, L-O-G-O-S, logos, L-O-G-O-S. And 25% logos stands for 25% evidence, statistics, case studies. You want to have some kind of evidence or some kind of case study or some kind of supporting piece around what you're sharing. So for example, I've been quoting people like Simon Sinek, or I've been quoting like Anthony Robbins, Tony Robbins. I also shared a fact with you at the beginning of today, which was that public speaking is one of the biggest fears in the world, according to Psychology Today and many other studies. I've given supporting people or evidence that backs up what I'm sharing to give it credibility, to give it some kind of substance, evidence of it being true, of it being real, all right? So you want to have 25% statistics, case studies, or some kind of evidential piece that supports what you are teaching. And then 10%, what is 10%, Jody? 10% stands for ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos, E-T-H-O-S. And ethos stands for, drum roll, specifically your credibility. 10% credibility. This is where you can share your credentials. You can share throughout your speeches a story about how you overcame something. Today, I shared about 10%, for example. I shared about how I went through racism and bullying. I had severe social anxiety. I couldn't leave the house. That is 10% credibility. That's me showing you all I've lived and breathed what I'm teaching. It creates more credibility for you to trust that what I'm teaching, I've lived, right? But I've also shared things like the world stage of public speaking or being a multi-six-figure-a-year coach. These pieces is not about me going, hey, look at me, I'm amazing. Not at all. I've done so much work to humble myself, to not need that external validation. But I'm sharing these things to help you to go, hey, she knows what she's talking about. So I'm willing to listen. And therefore, you're willing to transform more because you can trust me more. If you want to build more trust of your audience, don't be afraid to share some of your credibility. And don't do it in a way where you're just going, I have this and this and this and this, and I achieved this and this. Share it through a story. Share it through a humble way of bringing what you're teaching as part of your credibility. Yeah? All right. Who loves this? Oh my gosh, raise the roof if you're loving this. So 65% is storytelling, 25% is some kind of statistic or evidence to back up what you're sharing, and 10% is credibility. When I have a longer session with people, I give examples of how this exactly works further, but we don't have a lot of time today, so I'm just going to keep on flowing. I love that Gaurav has already tried to guess the C. That makes me so happy. So his guess was that C is confidence. Good guess. C is not confidence. Does anyone else want to guess what C stands for? Yeah, we got clear on your vision and your values. We got clear on how to optimize your body, your mind, your spirit. We're getting clearer on inspiration, and part of inspiring others and inspiring yourself is through storytelling. And C stands for connection. Look at Regine go. This is amazing. It is connection. How can we connect to our audience and engage and captivate them? Who here would love to, whether you're at a networking event or you're doing a speech, leave people wanting more? Who would love that? Who would love that people feel engaged with your speech? Who would love that people feel captivated with your speech? Yeah, or with what you're sharing? Yes. So how can you inspire people to feel more engaged? Well, there are a whole range of engage and captivate techniques. Part of what I teach in my connection modules as well in my Embodied Speaker Academy is the psychology of humans. How can we actually connect to people on a deep, authentic level through empathy, through rapport building techniques? There's so much that you can learn in this section of connection. But what I'm going to teach to you really, really quickly to support you around this is one technique that I've already used throughout today, which is a surprise. I'm going to take you through a little exercise to help you get connected to this. Okay, so I'd love you to close your eyes. What's this woman doing? Getting me to close my eyes all the time. And we're going to close your eyes, receive a deep breath in, and deep breath out. I'd love you to clear your mind, clear your mind, clear your mind, clear your mind. And now I'd love you to imagine a monkey. Monkey. Monkey, 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 monkey. Imagine a monkey. Monkey. Imagine a monkey. All right, open your eyes. Put in the chat. Did you see the monkey? Did you hear the monkey? Did you become the monkey? Did you feel the monkey? Did you just know what a monkey is? Put it in the chat. Cool. I saw him. I saw him. I heard. Cool. Make sure it's public so everyone can see your messages too. Cool. Yeah. So when I've done this I saw him trying to take food from me. I love that. I've done this in front of audiences of hundreds, and it's so amazing when I get people to put their hands up. That's another engage and captivate technique, by the way, have people put their hand up in the audience to be able to engage them. Majority, 70%, if not more, saw the monkey. And that makes sense because 70 to 80% of society is visual. They're visual learners and they're more visually inclined. Okay. So if you saw the monkey, maybe you're more visual. Or if some of you heard the monkey, I would find that maybe about 10 or something % of people heard the monkey, then you could be more auditory. Or if you became the monkey, or you felt the monkey, you were patting the monkey, or you had more of the feeling-based thing, you could be more kinesthetic. Or if you couldn't see it or hear it or anything, maybe you just knew what a monkey was, you might be auditory digital. You just have this great logical mind and you just know what things are, but you don't necessarily see it or hear it or feel it. So why is this relevant to in connection? because you want to use language throughout your speech, throughout your workshop, throughout your networking conversations, throughout your meditations that you're guiding people through. You want to use a variety of words to cater for other people's communication styles. So for example, when I took you all through that visualization process of that meditation, being on the couch, I said things like, see the couch. What color is the couch? Yeah, I said things like, you hear the echo of your feet walking. So that was to help cater for those of you who are auditory. I said, feel the couch, right? Or feel how your body is feeling. That's the kinesthetic. Or I said things like, imagine this, imagine that. And that was helping the auditory digital parts of you. Who's loving this? Yeah. So if you want to be a great storyteller and a great connector, you want to be mindful of the words you use. Don't just use visual language like see this or picture this. Use language like, does that ring a bell? Who hears me? Yeah. Or things like, who feels that? Who can sense that? Make sure you use a whole variety of words to cater for different communication styles, and people are going to feel more engaged with you. One more technique to help engage people is to ask questions or involve them with physical actions like I've done throughout today. I've asked you rhetorical questions like, who gets that? Who feels me? Give me a double hand wiggle if that's, landing. Engage your audience. It is a conversation, not a monologue. It is a conversation, not a monologue. And we're really getting guesses for the E. Here we go. So we have vision and values for the V. We have optimization for the O. We have inspiration for the I. We have connection for the C. What do we have for E? Some guesses have been expression, energy. A lot of people do not guess this. This is a very unique one. It's like my signature in a way. We have emotions, emotionally. Good guesses. This is another technique, everyone, to engage the audience. Have them guess what something stands for. Involve them. Activate the human need of curiosity. Expansion. Good guesses. It's none of that. I'm going to give you a sentence and let's see if you can finish that sentence, okay? And actually, before I even share that, I'm going to ask you a question. What is your most valuable asset in life? And don't say Bitcoin. What is your most valuable asset in life? What is your most valuable asset in life? And good guesses. Expansion, empathy, ego, existence. It doesn't start with E. I'm actually just getting you to guess. It doesn't start with E, what I'm asking here. What is your most valuable asset in life? Health, yeah. Well, guess what? Your most valuable asset in life is this. It's you. It's who you see in the mirror. It's you. You are your most valuable asset in life. You investing in you is everything. You coming to this workshop is you investing in you. Is you investing in your voice? Is you investing in your potential? People don't buy from people because of just what they teach. They buy from people because who they are. Right? I sell out all my programs that I launch and all my events that I launch and have these incredible people come that are just so aligned because of who I am. People want to be in that room because of who I am embodying. Who can you be that people want to be in the room with? Who can you be that people want to network with? Now, how does this connect to E, Jody? Well, finish this sentence. Denise Burchard says, okay, this is the wife of Brendan Burchard. Brendan Burchard is one of the world's leading high performance coaches. His wife says this. Every day you have a choice. You can choose to be ordinary or you can choose to be, what's that word? You can choose to be ordinary or you can choose to be, extraordinary. Exactly. The extraordinary part of my voice formula is this: extraordinary you, how to be an extraordinary you and how to live an extraordinary life. I don't want to just teach you public speaking skills. The end result is not to be a great public speaker. The end result is that you get to be the most extraordinary version of you and you get to live the most extraordinary life. Who feels me here? Give me a raise the roof if you're feeling me here. There is no point in becoming a better speaker and communicator if you're living a life that feels completely inauthentic. There's no point in being a better leader and speaker if you're living a lie and you're feeling an ordinary and you're feeling like you're not living your dreams. I want for you to feel alive. I want for you to feel so authentic that every day you wake up, you go, I know who I am. And you feel peace in that. So when I teach my Embodied Speaker Academy process of the voice formula, VOICE, part of the E part is anchoring even deeper into how you can be the most extraordinary you in life. Remember, everyone, you are your most valuable asset. To recap on today, you learned your vision and your values. You were able to create the end of your life sentence to live every day by. You created your 3 interaction values so you can show up authentically. You were able to optimize even more of your voice through those techniques and optimize through essentially understanding how to recall mindfully your emotions on stage or before you go on stage. We entered into your storytelling capabilities of inspiration. We connected into connection, which is how you're able to connect your audience more. And we ended with what is your most valuable asset? It is you. Everyone, congratulations on my boot camp of a voice session today. What I want to share with you is we only touch the surface, but I'm so grateful that you showed up for yourself. You are your most valuable asset. I've invested over $150,000 in myself over the years, and that is how I generated multiple 6 figures a year. I've generated a life. I've traveled now to 36 countries. I get to speak on stages of hundreds, if not thousands, in one go. I get to impact all these people. I get to travel as a nomad. I get to just live my dream. I've never been healthier. I have the most incredible community. I am so grateful. I feel emotional. I'm so grateful. I went from this girl who was bullied and subjected to racism, scared to leave the house, to reaching the world stage of public speaking twice and being able to lead such an incredible life. I want that for you. I want that for you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the chat here my WhatsApp. If you would like to receive a free, completely free PDF, when my team had put it together. Now, these are very old videos of me in this PDF. This is from like 5 years ago, but the value is incredible. What I teach in these videos are amazing. This PDF has 10 different video links. You can go watch the videos, and it has all these notes about how to be a better speaker. I want to give that to you so you can become a better speaker and leader, become a better human. So just send me a WhatsApp and I'll get that resource to you. Okay, I'm going to put that in the chat there.
Oh, I just put the WhatsApp, but yeah, there it is as well. Okay.
Oh, amazing. Thanks, Danny. You're amazing. And what I was talking, yeah, I'm not going to be messaging, so make sure you message me, everyone, directly. And what I'm also going to be offering to I was going to do it to just 1, maybe 2, but at least one of you, I am going to offer a spot to my Embodied Speaker Academy that is 1,000 USD less. Normally my Embodied Speaker Academy over 6 to 12 months is 444 USD, and I'm offering a spot for only 3333 USD. It is the most incredible program, and if you want to learn more, let me know. I'm very excited to offer that for one of you. And how you can apply for that is I'm going to send you're welcome. I'm going to send a link here. Just apply via that link, fill out that application, and I'll choose one of you and share more information and make sure it's a match. But thank you all so much. I'm so proud of you.
Yes. All right. So do you guys enjoy that? You had fun? There was a lot of information. You really, let it all out for us. So thank you. We really appreciate you being so generous.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So in about 15 minutes, we're going to have talk about the summit in Nepal. We're going to have some more people joining us for that. Do we have about 5 minutes for questions, Jody?
Yeah, I'm happy to stay for another 5 minutes and answer any questions for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get into that, I want to just be transparent with you guys. Jody and I have been in some conversations about her joining us in Nepal later this year for Nomad Base Camp. It's not completely confirmed yet. We're in discussions to try to get it locked in. We're doing everything we can to make it happen, but Jody's always available if you guys want to connect with her. And for those of you who were here for the introduction, she's really done a lot for Nepal as well. She gave her first TEDx talk at 22 in Nepal, contributed to earthquake relief. So if you are able to join us and be part of the community, we'd love to have you, Jody. It would be a real pleasure. But we'll follow you whatever you do. And when you guys we have the confirmations, yes or no, you guys will be the first to know. We plan to have about 40 speakers joining us this September. So with that said, let's first of all, thank you, Jody, for the amazing session. And do you guys have any questions? Can you just post them in the chat, or feel free to unmute your mic if you want to speak up? Okay, how does the language barrier impact public speaking, and how can we be articulate?
Cool. So I've helped people where English is like their fifth language. I got to tell you, I've helped people where English is their first language, or English is like their fifth or sixth or even seventh language. And it doesn't matter whether it's their first or their last. It's how we feel. It's the confidence that we bring. It's the energy that we bring. There are people where English is their first language, but because of that anxiety or that inability to really feel authentic, they are affected in how they speak. So the most important thing is not to get in the head. Sometimes when English is not our first language, and when I've helped these people, is they go into the head and they think, are people judging me? Are people judging my accent? Are people thinking I'm not perfect in my communication? I've got to tell you, there are famous speakers out there in the world, but English is nowhere near their first language. They have a strong accent, but they are so, so valued, and they are sharing such powerful things. It is not about if you skip a few words and people aren't going to trust you. It's not about if you pronounce a few words wrong that people aren't going to, trust you. It's the energy you bring. So the answer to this question is, can it be a barrier? Of course it can be a barrier, but the most important thing is the energy, the confidence. Is do you know yourself, and are you showing up authentically? And people will feel you. People feel a lot more than they just hear. Yeah. And so it's really powerful to bring that confidence, even if you have an accent, or even if there are, certain words that you might miss. And how can you be more articulate? Practice, keep practicing and getting feedback. Just putting yourself out there, you'll learn as you go. I trust that supports.
I just posted another question in the chat, and if you guys have any other questions, maybe we'll take one more question after that. If you guys just want to put that in the chat, feel free. Or feel free to speak up as well.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. So yes, I have been speaking for 15 plus years, and I've done paid speaking gigs, all around the world. And the question here is, how do you start attracting paid speaking opportunities? Honestly, how to attract paid speaking opportunities is, number one, come back to who are you as a speaker? Like, what do you represent? What are the key, essentially, teachings you want to impact the world with? That's the most important thing. People are like, Jody, I want to get paid to speak. I'm like, okay, what are you passionate to speak about, and how do you help people? And they're like, oh, I'm actually not sure. I'm like, you've got to start with that as the foundation. Get clear first on who you are with your speaker voice and what you're passionate about talking about, and what exactly you can help people with. Yeah, what are the topics you're an expert in? What are the topics that you can help people who have problems around that area? You can give them a solution. What are those topics that you can inspire people with? Once you're clear on that, everybody, then when you start to meet people and people start to hear what you have to share, and you start to put yourself out there, people are like, wow, you've got a lot of value. I want you to come and speak to my community. I want for you to come and help my business. I want for you to come and do this. Yeah. A lot of my speaking opportunities have come from word of mouth and referrals. Like, people have just heard me speak at a networking event, or they've heard me do a speech, and they've gone, this woman has value to add. Then they reach out to me. I don't reach out to people. They reach out to me and go, hey, can we hire you to do a workshop in my organization? Hey, can we hire you to be a coach and help this team or help these people? Yeah, or can I work with you and join your program? A lot of the abundance and income that I've created in my life is simply because I'm living my mission every day, and people can feel that, and I'm so clear on what I have to offer the world that people then want to learn. Yeah, so that's, you're so, so welcome. So, so welcome. So that's really important. Get clear on what you have to offer the world, and then just start putting yourself out there and letting people know that you want to be hired as a speaker. Literally tell people. And once you start doing speaking gigs, make sure you get lots of testimonials, you get lots of videos, put it on social media or on a website, start to put yourself out there more, and it only accumulates. There's obviously a lot more I can teach with that, but that's a quick answer. All right. Yeah, you're
Awesome.
so welcome.
So we have time for one more question. Anyone else here? Garab or Lauren? Lauren, you've joined us for a few skill sharing sessions. So how did you like this one?
Putting people on the spot to unmute. I don't even know if they can unmute, because I was having trouble with that before.
Okay. Well, you can text on the message. And Alexander, I know it's late for you there in Taiwan, so thank you for joining us. We will send the information for the bonuses. We have the email, so we'll send out an email, and you can have Jody's contact information as well.
Well done, everyone, for showing up. I'm so proud of you. You are in the top percentage of the world, willing to become a better version of you, and your voice matters. Yeah, your voice matters. No matter what stories you're telling yourself right now about what you can or can't do, just know that you have a potential way bigger than you can ever imagine. Sometimes we only need to be shown to then realize just how powerful we are. Yeah, so believe in yourself, and remember that your voice is one of your most powerful assets of you.
Jody, what's your favorite part of being a speaker?
The last question snuck in. My favorite part of being a speaker is the feeling of getting off that stage and realizing I've made a difference, and that my voice matters, and I made a difference to other people to see that their voice matters too. It's one of my favorite parts, that moment after getting off that stage where it's like, I just made a difference and helped all these people, and I see people's smiles in their faces, and they're feeling more inspired and they're feeling more energized. Like, that is one of my favorite moments. And that helps me to counteract any fear I have before going on stage. I anchor the feeling of how I'm going to feel after the stage. Just impacting people's lives is my favorite part of being a speaker. And we can help so many people in such a small amount of time as a speaker as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jody. And yeah, well, hopefully we get a chance, to meet you in person in September. Let us know. As you guys know, we'll have Nomad Base Camp in Nepal, September 1st to 7th. It's a week-long summit for nomads in Pokhara, Nepal, and you're all welcome to join us in Pokhara. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. What was your favorite thing about Nepal, your first trip there? Just a fun question.
Oh, the Nepalese people, and also the dhaba. I love the dhaba and the food, but the Nepalese people were just incredible. Yeah, so for all of those of you from Nepal, whoop, whoop, you're amazing. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Oh, yeah,
Jody.
and any questions? I had a few questions come through. Any questions about the Embodied Speaker Academy, just WhatsApp me, everyone. We'll have a chat. That's fine. Yeah. All good, Danny.